Hi there, I've just finished watching Martha Stewart's MasterClass, and it actually came up on my Facebook feed as a paid ad by MasterClass, and I've already got a MasterClass membership, so I knew I had access to this, so I watched it. And it's a pretty short two-piece session from Martha Stewart, who has just got the most amazing property, and this farm she runs really close to New York City, but you wouldn't believe it. I think Ralph Lauren's her neighbour. Just to see the property she manages, the team, and how she briefs them in the mornings to operate the farm, just gives you this initial insight into how she's an early riser. She's super disciplined. She treats her staff really, really well. She invites them for Christmas parties, and she knows about all their families. And so after watching a couple of hours of Martha Stewart talking about how to basically be successful and give us some inspiration on how to keep going at that rate. She's 82. She was on the cover of Sports Illustrated in her 80s. I mean, she's quite a phenomenal lady. So I'm not the ultimate homemaker by any stretch, and not living in the United States, I haven't sort of been brought up the Martha Stewart way. But I can say that having listened to her for a couple of hours, there's some great lessons there for anybody who owns a business, who's trying to just make good decisions, keep the standards up, the motivation up, the outputs high quality. Her philosophy for that side of her business that's worth millions and millions, don't know what her net worth is, I could look it up, but she's been phenomenally successful by just following the times. So what she's done really well is stayed very current. She hasn't let technology leave her behind. She's hired young people. She stays engaged with the trends that the young people are on. She likes TikTok. She's on Instagram when that came out. And so she's been really smart at hiring young people with lots of energy, and then smart at hiring the best foodies to work alongside her in her test kitchens, and the best organisers to make the most use of every minute of her day, and even just how she schedules her day. She goes into New York City to office most days, and she works while she's in the car, but she's out there feeding her chickens, and she's riding her horses, and she's just a really, really likeable person. I think she sort of lets her guard down a bit. She's welcoming you into her own personal life and sharing her own philosophies and values about what it takes to be successful. So she certainly had some ups and downs, and she does talk about her episode in prison, that little period of life which was just a mistake and a poor judgment, and she's paid the price, and she talks really well about that experience and what it meant to her and how it's affected her. So that's actually worth listening to the masterclass for that bit, because we all have challenges or mistakes or setbacks that we make that we have to recover from. So she had some great advice around that. And I just thought there were a few takeaways, and I jotted them down in my notebook while I was listening to her sessions. So she's firstly got impressive energy, just discipline. She's up and out of bed. She's got a memo for the whole team about what's happening in the garden, and one on the farm, and one for the testing kitchen, and one in the office with partners, or a podcast interview. She's been incredibly productive and prolific. She's writing her 100th book at the moment. So there's no work ethic like it. And one of her messages was to be successful in business and to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to work hard. So she's really still modelling that. And I think that's what's kept her looking good and moving well. You know, she doesn't walk like an old lady. She's sprightly, she's lean, she dresses well. She's a real inspiration, because she's actually just done a great job of staying current and staying engaged in the world, and not sort of retiring and collapsing in a heap back on the ranch. You know, she's really kept her brain in gear, and you can really tell that that's what's keeping her going. She's obviously thriving on it, not seeing it as she wants to retire. She's built a life in a business that she loves running. But my goodness, there's a lot running. She's got a big team. She's got a lot of assets. She's got a lot of brands. She's got a lot of variety. And she's really reinvented herself a lot along the way. And she said she hated the word pivot, but she does like to evolve. And she's certainly been on magazines, but now the magazine era's gone. And then she does social media or a TV show, or there's products. You know, she's done some great partnerships. She talks about this partnership she had with Snoop Dogg, the rapper. What a lady. So some of the consistent things across all her projects have been her very high standards, her very high energy, and really getting the right people around her. She's paid a lot of attention to making sure that the team knows what she expects, and she looks after them. She's had people working for her for 40 plus years. So that's a good sign. So she must be doing something right. So I thought it was really worth watching. If you're an entrepreneur and you see all these trends come and go, and you might feel threatened by a new social media platform or a competitor that's got a bigger budget than you, or you've got staffing challenges, I think her common sense advice would apply to so many entrepreneurs who are facing individual challenges, But I think how Martha Stewart would approach any of these problems comes back to some really core values, and she shares them really openly and makes very good sense. And I really, really liked it. And since I watched it, I've been thinking about it quite a lot for the rest of today before I did this video. And I really think she's really a successful person who I really admire, who I've never really paid that much attention to be honest. She's not somebody I've followed, or not the ultimate homemaker or, domestic goddess, but I am a business owner, and I took a huge amount away from that. But also I took a lot away from the housewife and being a busy mum side as well. You can't do everything, and you just have to pick where you hold your standards high, and you can only do what you can do. So I found it really good, and I think you'll enjoy it as well. It's an easy listen. The photography of her farm, oh my goodness. I mean, she planted half the trees on there herself over the last few decades. It is immaculate and impressive. And there's some very beautiful horses. So I think it was just very, very easy listening, very beautiful to watch, very inspiring. And I left feeling like, well, if she's still going at that rate, what am I doing? Get going and get on with it, because you've got to build a business you like and a life that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning. And she's done it. So well done, Martha Stewart. And loved her masterclass. So really glad she did that. And you should watch it too. I think you'll get a lot out of it. So I hope you enjoy it.